What's up, guys? It's Monaco here, and the new calendar is out. Details into the release of the new cards and jobs are out as well. This is kind of what I really want to hit on. If you want to check the events and stuff and their timing of the events, then you're by all means you're more than welcome to. Chapter 3, Part 1 is coming out, I believe, later tonight. Um, and then uh, and then we're gonna get into the new jobs and then the bosses tomorrow, which is bloody awesome. I'm really pumped for these new jobs. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's the rewards for the new events. Basically the same thing as last month. There's nothing really that new. Um, so there's not a whole lot to cover as far as the new bosses, Shiva and Odin. Um, it's basically going to be the same straightforward stuff as a freak, just with different elements. I'll cover more into those when they become available. For right now, I really want to talk about these new jobs and the cards coming out because it's very important that you guys know this information. So, this is my personal opinion, but just based off of the ratings and everything that I've seen, the dancer job is going to be the best one of this batch. Dragoon is basically kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Final Fantasy. If you've ever played any Final Fantasy whatsoever, you basically know that Dragoon is always like one of the worst jobs that you could possibly get. Now, I'm not saying that it's this is a terrible job. You shouldn't bother with it, but it's not that good for multiplayer. In fact, as a matter of fact, in terms of breaking and stuff, it has very mediocre stats. It doesn't stack up to Assassin whatsoever, and the Warrior class of cards just doesn't have enough to make this a thing. So it's kind of a blah thing. Um, I really don't I really don't see the point of Dragoon at all. Um, the dancer job is a ranger supporter, and the thing about the dancer is it's very high survivability, and that's good as a supporter. That's kind of what you want. Also, the prismatic shift. I'm not 100% sure what all is involved with that on a support. I'm gonna have to play around with that, but I'm pretty sure um, since you're driving away your orbs, that it does not affect the entire party when you heal with them. That might be the case for the scholar, but I'm not 100% on that either. We'll see. Anyways, it's still nice to be able to have a healer that can use healing drive because when your healer gets low on hit points, he can just drive some orbs away, which he needs to be doing anyway, and he'll get an effect for it. The main thing about these new jobs is that they're all extremely high break value jobs for their with their ultimates. The dancer can pretty much break anything, any red bar, from full down to nothing, and put the opponent into a break immediately. So all you have to do is break the orange gauge, and then the dancer follow up with the ultimate, and the boss is pretty much immediately into a break, which is extremely useful. But it's probably going to be have to be something that the party kind of plans for. But definitely keep that in the back of your head. If you're playing with a dancer, they can do that kind of stuff. So plan accordingly when you're in a party with them. So, anyways, the three early acquisition cards this month are bloody amazing. Nekotama is going to be semi useful going into the future. But these other two, Hermes and Susano, they pretty much never go bad, especially Hermes. Eventually, there's going to be a card that comes out that has regen, wall, and barrier on it. The haste buff is kind of ignored, and then there's another card that has uh, boost faith and the attack value, Gigante. Basically, the it's Knights of the Round and Hellgate, and those two cards in conjunction with Hermes on a support um, are basically what you want. I believe they use one other card. I'm not 100% sure what it is. Maybe Sarah, um, to give the party more ultimate. But anyways, the point is Hermes is a great card. It's one of the best in the game. You have to have it. It pretty much takes Aerith and Tifa and says, "Screw you, I'm better." And that's kind of the reason why I said Aerith and Tifa is kind of a crap card, because it gets replaced very soon. And I'd say within the next month or two, you're going to see the Final Fantasy VII cards, which means Knights of the Round is going to be coming out, and that's going to basically replace um, all of the defensive cards available. So, uh, you know, these early cards, they're not that great, but I will tell you this: if you spend Grow Stars on Hermes, you are doing a very smart thing. Do not feel bad at all about spending Grow Stars on Hermes. That is definitely something that you want to do. Um, as a matter of fact, as soon as I get it, I plan on putting it 4-star. Um, no questions asked. I mean, I'm not even going to hesitate with that. But anyways, let's get into the GA or the JA spells. Excuse me. These cards are only worth it at 5 stars. Like the orb cost goes from 8 to 6, and then once they're at 6, it's a usable card. But until then, the cost is just way too high. The effect is not good enough for what they cost. And honestly, like these cards are not worth the 40 ability ticket cost price tag that they have. Um, do not bother with them right now. Now, if you get them and like say you do an ability summon or something like that and you get one, don't feel bad. I mean, it's they're still usable cards going into the future once they get 5 starred. But um, definitely don't invest any time in them. As a matter of fact, really honestly, like the only ones that are worth it are the mage cards, and even they are like shaky at best. Because mages have such a high attack value, they're really the only ones that can utilize these spells properly. So, um, you know, honestly, I wouldn't spend too much time with them. These poo-poos are going to be released as well. Guys, if you weren't around for the poo-poo event and you don't have access to poo-poos, don't buy the poo-poos. They're going to be replaced so quickly. It's not even funny. Like within the next month or two, poo-poos are going to be like nobody's going to be talking about them. Nobody's going to be using them. They're basically useless. So don't even bother with them at this point. As a matter of fact, if you get Hermes, you're going to be using Hermes in your deck instead of a poo poo. Hermes will basically replace poo poo. Um, so, as early as next month, the poo poo cards are going to be obsolete. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I have for this video, guys. Again, you can look at the rest of the events on your own. I just kind of wanted to give you my thoughts and things on these new cards and these new jobs. Uh, don't be discouraged if you get Dragoon. You can level it up and it'll be fine to use, at least for single player. It'll probably be a pretty good class in the tower event coming up. Um, but the two jobs that you really want are Scholar and Dancer, with Dancer being the best of the batch. So, anyways, I hope you guys found this information useful. If you got any more questions or comments about what's going on, leave them in the comment sections below. I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.